mid-'80s will be dominated by three names: Bjorn Borg, Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe. This year, just when you thought that these heroes of yesteryear were gone, all three returned. Their comeback spanned the emotional spectrum, everything from a glory revisited to public embarrassment. Borg won his fifth straight Wimbledon title. Even a sensational 18-16 tiebreaker captured by McEnroe didn't unnerve the Swedish man of steel. But the next year, McEnroe exposed Borg's invincibility. It was a laborious four-set task. Finally, Bjorn Borg had been defeated on center court. But Borg was only 26. Surely this was only a pause in his continuing.
It was difficult. It was a good match, and McEnroe deserved to win, but I knew that mentally I was never there. I was never in the game in that Wimbledon final. It was a very strange feeling, because I felt that I was not even playing a Wimbledon final, 81.
There was one last hurrah, the U.S. Open, a Grand Slam title that eluded him despite making it to the finals 3 previous times. McEnroe would deny him a fourth time. It would be the last serious tennis for Bjorn Borg.
Actually, the whole year, 81, I was struggling, yeah. Even when I was playing the Masters or the French Open, I was struggling the whole year, 81, mentally. It was a very difficult year. And still, I was playing pretty good tennis that year. But still, mentally, I was slipping away slowly that year. So I realized at the beginning of that year that probably I will stop playing tennis before many people knew that I will.
Then in 1982 in Monte Carlo, a shocked tennis public couldn't believe the news that Borg was retiring, packing his bag for the last time.
When you say that you're not going to play tennis, you mean not playing tennis professionally? No, out of curiosity, we ever play tennis for fun? Can that happen anymore?
Oh yeah, I mean, I always, for the last 10 years, it was fun for me to play tennis. That's why, the reason why I'm retiring, because it's not as, fun as it used to be.
I used to see him once or twice. Yes, I kept saying, I go, you coming back? You coming back? It must have been 3, 4, 5 years that I kept saying that. And then finally it hit me, hey, this guy isn't coming back.
Since his retirement from tennis, Borg's personal life has taken a tragic turn, from the #1 tennis player in the world to 10 years of unhappy marriage, child custody disputes, millions lost in business ventures, reported drug use, and alleged suicide attempt. A desperate time in his life.
In one way, it was a good experience to go through life, to go through a lot of different difficulties, because you have to learn about life. When I was playing tennis, I was playing tennis and practicing, and that was the only thing I was doing. Now I came out to another kind of life and experienced other things, good and bad.
The bad began with the breakup of his marriage with former player Mariana Simonescu. Mariana said in the divorce settlement, "I didn't ask for much, only that I live comfortably for the rest of my life." In 1984, Borg took up with Swedish model Yannick Björling. who was 17 years old at the time. He never married Bjorling, but in 1985 she bore him a son, Robin. When the couple split, they agreed to share custody of the child, although that is now in dispute. In 1988, Borg took up with another woman, Italian rock star Loredana Berta. At least 5 years, Borg Sr., Loredana is as controversial as she is raucous and rowdy. In February of 1989, Borg was rushed to this Milan hospital to have his stomach pumped. The Italian press speculated a drug overdose suicide attempt, a result of Borg's depression over the custody of his son. Borg denies any drug use.
What's happening in Milan was just food poison. I went to the hospital, and 1 hour later I walked out to the hospital. But they made such a big fuss about that because, you know, and that was another thing, selling papers. And I think regarding media, it's more like they're trying to destroy you than to help you. I think the media is trying to destroy me for the last 5 years.
Throughout his retirement, Borg suffered numerous financial setbacks as well. After building a personal fortune of $75 million, nearly 3/4 was lost thanks to a myriad of business failures. Most notable was the now defunct clothing line which bore his name. Pessimistic tennis fans wonder if the Borg comeback wasn't anything more than a publicity stunt to help the ex-champion make some quick money.
No, I don't need the money. Another thing is that I've been working very hard for 9 months now, and I've been getting a lot of offers every week or every day to play exhibition, to play tournaments. There've been, you know, hundreds of different people asking me. If I wanted to make a lot of money quick, I should start playing 9 months ago. Play exhibition or tournaments or... But I want to do this right. I want to do this very professional. I want to work hard. And I want to be ready when I start. So it's nothing to do with money.
It was under these circumstances that Borg, with his old small racket, announced his return to the game. But as much as fans would love the resurrection of a great champion, the question remained, could he return at even a competitive level? Many were skeptical about the comeback.
8 years is an awful long time to be away from anything, let alone a game where everybody that's been playing over that amount of time is forging ahead and becoming better and better. Equipment has changed since he's been away. The game is really completely different now over the past 8 years.
When we were together and he had stopped for about 1 month only or so, he had at least 3-4 exhibitions before he started the first match. And today he goes straight in to a tournament. And that was, for me, something I couldn't understand.
Borg did accept a wild card into the clay court tournament at Monte Carlo in April and indicated that he was still a different sort, refusing to join the high-tech world of tennis, instead electing to still use his old normal-size wooden racket. He also left his longtime coach Leonard Bergelin in favor of 79-year-old Professor Guru Tia Hansai. In the first round, Borg drew a 27-year-old Spaniard, Jordi Arce, to begin his comeback attempt. Press from around the world couldn't wait to see if Borg still had it. But Borg was dismissed in straight sets, 6-2, 6-3 by Arce, and at times looked as old as his racket.
If he gets used to playing with the new rackets, he could come back. I was impressed with his physical condition on the court. His legs are still very good.
The whole thing in the end just didn't seem right the way he did it, why he grew his hair the same way, insisted on using the same sort of clothing and racket and doing everything like it was 10 years ago. It was almost like he wanted to wind the clock back.
To me, it's a little bit sad to see him come back because he had his great moments maybe 10 years ago, and that's the way I want to remember him.
Immediately after his defeat, Borg rushed home to Milan because of an apparent suicide attempt by his wife Loredana. Since then, Borg announced that he would begin trying out some mid-size rackets and replace Professor Hansai with former Italian Davis Cup star Adriano Panatta. But he hasn't played in a tournament since. He never contacted French Open or Wimbledon for an invitation, and insiders guess that Borg didn't feel his game was up for the majors. Since Bjorn Borg announced his comeback intentions nearly 9 months ago, we fans had high hopes of seeing a great ex-champion return to form and possibly, against all odds, capture one more major title. But perhaps it's just as well the ex-champion has not returned, for without that reality, we fans and Bjorn Borg himself can still cling to the memories and the incredible feeling of the 5-time Wimbledon champion striking that now famous Wimbledon pose.
Winning, because that's the best feeling a tennis player has, winning, to win that last point, and especially in the championship. I mean, that's the best moment for a tennis player.
Poignant and powerful story. Did anyone know Borg as a player? Did anyone close enough to him to even understand what he did 10 years ago?
Well, I'm not one of the ones that was close enough to him. Vitas Gerulaitis was very close to him. Panada, who is now coaching him, was close to him. Ilie Nastase was quite close. But I tried to get around him, talk to him a little bit, just to really find out what he was all about when he was playing, and could never do that.